Uh,
I love it.
we've got a great guest today.
Yes.
Hopefully our man shows up today. I don't know if he's having technical difficulties or what we're going to do today, my friends, is we are going to talk about lead generation. How do some people seem to prospect and generate leads like with ease, and other people struggle? And how do we start looking at generating leads with ease? To the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly. You know, DJ, the show must go on, brother.
That's right. That's right. Let's do it.
And it's actually, I think it's pretty cool. So hopefully Steve's not having problems and he can jump in. So
Yeah.
for all of y'all,
try and
Steve is the
communicate,
founder. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. And if I know if you kind of
if you see
look
me,
around or whatever,
yep.
no problem. So Steve is the founder and CEO of Title, a lead generation company that goes out and finds venture capitalists and this kind of stuff. Now, that's high-end lead generation, but it'd be interesting to see if you and I start the conversation with, like, for you, what are the three most important things in lead generation? I'll share the three most important things, and then let's ask Steve what the three most important things are. Because when you create a company around lead generation, let's see how close we are to the target. What do you say? You want to do that? We'll kind of call an audible on this bad boy.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So what are your top three? If you were to pick just three, the top three things when it comes to lead generation to you that's most important.
Most important. Well,
so it's a tough one, brother.
That is, I know that is, because so obviously my customer profile and finding the person I really want to work with is going to be number one, just because that's where I'm at. And I like, and it's kind of for all the salespeople out there, it is a good mind trick when you feel like you are choosing who you get to work with and they're not choosing you. So use it, guys.
Not to mention there is no failure.
That's right. You can't.
Yeah.
If you're finding what you want. So yeah, definitely customer profile. Finding somebody I really want to work with and mix with, like Steve, who we're waiting on. Definitely a good mix there. And we had a great conversation yesterday. Next would be really opportunity. So what I have to what they're looking for. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like and how much opportunity is there. So my lead generation is going to be based on really how much opportunity I see there, too.
Okay.
And then
what's number three?
Man, I don't even know.
Okay. So, and I like that. That is, I think, super awesome that you can say that. So number one, again, for me, client profile, like understanding my ideal client, who I really want as a customer for my long-term growth. We're not talking for, just the next
not a quick buck.
Long-term. Number two is my lead, meaning how am I going to lead into the prospecting call, the prospecting email. So what are my superpowers in essence in, my business, my core functionality? What is that? And then number three for me, the most important thing is qualify out as fast as possible.
Yes.
I'm realizing more and more.
Cut loose, yeah.
Well, as you and I grow this company, right? As you and I grow this channel, as you and I grow this daily conversation, the one thing that's becoming way more apparent to me is getting the right people on the bus as fast as possible. And that sometimes means eliminating the wrong people even faster.
Yes.
And we'll bring Steve on in a second here. Steve, just give me a thumbs up in the background if you're good to go, my friend. But perfect. Okay. So, we're bringing Steve in now. So Steve, we were having a conversation last night and Steve was talking about when he brings people into his company, you bring them in and literally within 2 weeks, what's happening. And one of my mottos,
I loved
100%. One of my mottos for the last couple of years has been hire fast and fire faster. It's like, right? Like, here's the thing, gentlemen, we know, I'm going to say within 2-3 days, if somebody has, for lack of a better term, the guy owns to sell.
Yeah, you know if they want. You know if they want it. You can tell if they want it. You
Absolutely.
can
It
just
doesn't matter
tell.
about the industry. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter, like Steve, last night you said something very interesting about Grant Cardone. He says, listen, you want to work for me, you fly to Florida on your own dime and you come work on 100% commission. Yeah. When somebody does that, and the psychology behind this, think of this, when somebody does that, like they will move to Florida
Yeah.
and come into work. What do you think's going to happen? They're in it to win.
They're
Like,
all in. They burned the boat. They're all in.
yeah,
They're all in
and the flag,
it.
they're gone, man. Like Steve, welcome, my friend. Welcome.
Yes. What's
What's
going
up?
on?
What
God,
is
I love
going on?
the energy is strong. I was just looking at your YouTube videos this morning. I was like ready to punch a window out and jump through it. I was just fired up.
Thanks, man.
Yes.
We did something, and we're gonna kind of, well, for your industry, not throw you on the spot. So while we were waiting for you to jump on, DJ and I talked about the top 3 things we believe are the most important things in lead generation, being as title lead generation company. Now, more on a higher side than selling a pallet here, a pallet there, but we figured we'd share our top 3 and then ask you when you first came on, what are your top 3 must-haves for lead generation?
Tools, software, or just traits and
No,
skills?
just traits, skills, strategy, whatever.
I'm going to say, so curiosity. You've got to be able to do the research to figure out why you're calling them. So, and you got to speak their language, which is what you were talking about. If they in the YouTube video, and I was like, he's right on it, because if I act like I know what you do for a living and what your problems are versus know it and research it, that will never come off as the second point, which is you got to be authentic. People are craving authenticity more than ever because we're all living in this Zoom world, looking at each other through a pane of glass, going, I just really want to talk to someone who's real. And we have so much shit being thrown in front of us. Buy this, buy that. This will make your life better. Do this. And it's like the world turned into Instagram overnight. We're all just like, wow, I just don't know which one to pick that's supposed to make my life easier. And we all know that, I mean, it's not as advertised all the time, right? I mean, it's
100%.
And that's where authenticity comes in. And that's when you say, no, it won't do that. And if that's what you're looking for, it's not us. Here's 3 people you should call. That's authenticity, meaning you're being authentic and you're being honest. Like if you're being honest, you're going to kill this game.
Yes.
Because in sales, when we grew up, and you quoted, Jack Welch, which is, hire fast, fire fast, which is, it doesn't sound good. Everybody wants it to feel good. And we all want to feel like, we want to be taken care of and given all the emotional support at work. And that sounds great, right? Nobody's here at our place of work, Nick. Nobody's here we're not out to get you, but we are here to profit. And when we look at our 5 decision trees, like how do we make a decision? The number one thing, and it wasn't number one last year, is profitability. And we felt it because we were all about culture, And so if you go back to those 3 points of lead gen, that's what we do. As I said, if someone's got curiosity, they're going to be curious enough to figure it out. Tenacity is the other thing. You got to be so tenacious, you'll run through a brick wall. And that's what we were talking about, the Grant Cardone thing. Like if someone came to you and say, hey, I want to work for you, be like, great, go sell something. I'll pay you when you do. No. I actually just want a paycheck. I want to come in. And when you said 3 days, I'd say 2 days. It's like a date. Like I might like you online and you have a good pick that's from 14 years ago. And then I show up at the restaurant and I'm looking
Why
around.
are people online more like real estate agents? It's crazy. Yeah, I feel like it's a real estate agent. Like you ever get a real estate agent's card and then you look up, you're like, is this Photoshop or is this like 20 years ago, man? You're like, hey,
glamour shots.
Glamour like Bill Burr from 2016 to 2020. You know the progression of Bill Burr's comedy because he's got hair, then he ain't got hair in one. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, this is older. This is an older one. But sorry, Steve, go on. I apologize.
No, you just brought up a good point about that guy. It goes to authenticity. Is if you're comfortable being yourself, everybody else is more comfortable around you. Yep. If you they call it imposter syndrome, that's a new trendy word, right? Like it's called being yourself. Like if you can't be yourself, you're no good to anybody.
Yep.
Like I don't want to talk to a talking head. There's how many salespeople right now? There are 50 million sales professionals in direct sales in America. My guess is, I'm not quoting a stat, is 45 million of them are terrible. And they're doing it for the
100%.
Yeah, they're doing it for the wrong reason because it's fast cars and women and booze, whatever. Like in 1982, we thought sales was Sales today is the people who educate themselves, listen to podcasts like this, call people like, Dan or DJ and say, hey, I just want a half hour. I just want to spend time with you and get to know you. And I'm not asking for anything. And then people go, well, I kind of like this. The Steve guy's kind of nice. He doesn't really ask me for anything.
Yeah.
And then pretty soon when I need something, I will call you. And that's the honesty part. So, I mean, I don't want to riff on it too long, but yeah, it ain't the tools. The tools will get you there a little faster, but those 3 traits to me are what I see over and over again. And usually by end of day 2, I mean, we had a guy about a month and a half ago come in and he was like, this is my life opportunity and I'm going to grind so hard and blah, blah, blah. And by the end of day 2, he looked like he was pale white and he quit.
Like
And that's
Gary
what
Busey before and after we were talking
yeah,
about last
yeah.
night.
That's what I was telling you about the whole cash consideration is what we're just going to start doing is just saying, hey guys, if it's not a fit, here's some money. Like go take care of you. We're going to take care of us. No harm, no foul. It wasn't what it was. And I think today that the interesting part is we are not in 1982 or 60. We don't have a lot of people working 30, 40 years at the same spot. People have no qualms with coming in and out and going to get another job. And everybody needs so much labor right now. People are willing to put up with bullshit on resumes to go, I guess if you took 2 jumps in the last year and a half, that's not so bad. Well, I mean, shit, we got repetitive patterns happening. And to me, the question you ask in the interview is always, in regards to lead gen, that's the topic is they're always going to tell you the blah, blah, blah. I do this, I do that, yada, yada. And I just started saying in the interviews, like, listen, you're going to make 300 calls a day. It is fun when you're doing good. 50% of the people here have not made it past month 4. My first job, Dan, I'm 44. I think you're what, 36? Taking a guess, Dan?
Me?
Yeah.
Hey,
Buddy, I love
new
you,
best
man.
friend.
I'm 45.
Mm.
I just turned 45 in December, and a week after, I got a really cool present, which is glasses. I've had 20/20 vision my whole life. All of a sudden now, if it's too close, I can't read it. I'm like,
Readers.
hold on. Oh, readers, yeah.
Oh.
Just, I mean, the plus ones, but still. And it's funny because I remember as I was younger, and I'm sitting with my uncle when my uncle turned 45, and he's a Navy man. No bullshit guy. He'll tell you exactly what it is. And he looks at me and he goes, when you turn 45, it's all fucking over. He goes, you're gonna wear glasses. And literally like a week after, my wife,
That's
myself,
crazy.
and 2 friends were here and we're playing Trivial Pursuit 90s or whatever it is. And it's like, our generation, the 80s, the 90s, like
Yeah.
all the best friggin' generation on the planet, by the way, everybody. Now I'm going to get so much hate
Amen.
for that, but whatever. Who cares? Who cares? So, so we're doing it. And I pull the card out, and you got to think, like, I'm going in this with 20/20, and I pull the card out and I go, huh? And I'm like, what the hell? And I look, my wife goes, do you want my glasses? I don't need glasses. She goes, just try them. I put them on. I'm like, oh, I need glasses. She's like,
Yeah.
ha ha. So it was actually pretty comical, but yeah, thank you though. I appreciate that. I'll take that all day long, brother. All day long.
You're my senior. Okay, so I'm the youngin' in the room. DJ's the youngest guy by far, I can tell. He's got the baby face. DJ, you're the perfect co-host, by the way. He's always just smiling and nodding his head and going, yep,
Always
yeah.
smiles.
That's right.
Just
DJ, when we first started, I said to my wife, I said, you know what DJ reminds me of? She goes, what? I go, you remember something about Mary? And she goes, yeah. And I go, when the guy gets his teeth done, right? Because he's just like, he's smiling. And DJ, it's natural. I mean, it wasn't natural for him. So I'm like, he's
I gotta fight it to keep it down, guys. I gotta fight it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry, brother. Don't ever change, man. Somebody could give you the worst news in your life. You're like, yeah,
good.
Yeah.
That's part of the problem. They don't know what I'm pissed.
They don't know where you're coming from.
I'm buying from that guy. He makes my life feel better, and that's that's it. We all want to. I mean, if someone feels like you're making their life better, if they're gonna, if you can sell them something, they're gonna go to you eventually. And the story I was telling was in 2001. I opened the paper. I was sleeping under a friend's table in Minneapolis. I was in a rock band, and that wasn't working out. And I was like, I better go get a real job. And I bought some shitty suit at Sears or wherever the hell. And I went into these interviews and the job said, do you like sports? Do you like marketing? Do you like music? And I'm like, yes. And they're like, then you're going to be perfect for this job. And I showed up and I sat in the lobby. And it was a shitty little building. And it's kind of like a movie. There's like 5 or 6 of us all sitting there. And I was like, I really don't know what we're doing. And we didn't know. Like, I couldn't tell what the place was. There wasn't a sign. And I opened the door, and the guy had putting, like the artificial putting green as his carpet.
Sweet.
And he goes, all right, come sit down. And they were selling postage machines. The stuff that, you know, in the office, you used to like, oh, if I just buy a machine, I can put my own postage on. Like that was cutting edge technology at the time. And he's like, you're going to, and I was like, of course. I was like, well, yeah, let's see if it works. He goes, okay, 10 minutes, you're going to go ride with this kid. And if you like it and he likes you for 3 hours, come back, get a job, paid $22,000 base salary. And this kid was like, I killed it last year. We went to club. I made like 60 grand. I'm like, holy shit, that's amazing. I want all that money. And I went out to his car, and he had duct tape over his passenger window, and it was like a broken down Ford Festiva. And I was like, I don't think this guy's making any money, man. Like, I don't think this. And I had to go around and knock on 40 doors with him. And I was like, by the end of it, I was like, fuck this, man. Like, this sucks. But it taught me, like, it was the first look into like, yeah, this is sales. Like, this is sales, man. Go make it happen. Get a zip code, knock on some doors, smile, get told to fuck off. And I'm thinking of
and do it all over again.
Do it every day.
Today.
Every day. Yep.
You know,
every
when
day.
I first got into the logistics industry, it was it was very similar. A lot of the times, you know, watching so many people come through the door when they're trying to sell them on coming to the company, it's like you always go and sit with the top sales reps.
Of course.
And part of me agrees with it, because it's like, this is what's possible. Like you're mentally, you might not be in the space where you believe this is possible, but here, check this person out, it's possible. And one of the things that I said is it wasn't it's always been in my life anyways, it's always been, if they could do it, I could do it. Right? Like it doesn't, because it wasn't the education piece. It was, I'm a grade 9 dropout. It wasn't education for me. It was like, I'm street smart. I got a hell of a lot of street smarts, because the time I was 13, I was on the streets, and very little gets by me from that respect. But you know, when we were going through, and it's like you're listening to what they were saying, and as a 17-year-old getting in the industry, it's like I regurgitated everything they said.
Yes.
And that goes back to that part that you were talking about, authenticity. It wasn't me. I mean, I thought I sounded like I was like, dude, I'm going to be a billionaire in
it's
like
the whole
2
boiler
years.
room, Wolf of Wall Street, that sales idea of you got to be this, you know. Yes.
There you
Oh.
Exactly. Matthew McConaughey, shout out.
You know why we do that though? Because this is it is so, like, I love it. You guys love it. I mean, I love and live sales. And someone goes, why do you love sales? And I was like, God, I got to come up with my one sentence answer, right? But it all comes down to people. Like, I get to meet you guys. I get to meet new people every day, and those people have come on to. They always say, what, people at your funeral, you know, family. I'm like, man, fuck that. I'm going to be going to funerals, not anytime soon, hopefully, of a lot of people I met in business, because those people have become friends, trusted people. When your friends won't loan you money, someone you met in business will loan you money. And they'll also show up for you when someone gets sick in your family, and, you know, they're the first ones there. And you start to realize they're people, just like your friends are people. It doesn't have to be, oh, you're my business friend, you're my friend. How about you're just someone I know, and I have to earn your trust over time. And if I trust you and like you well enough, fuck it, you're my friend. You might buy something from me. But that's the part I love about it, is like the top of funnel to me isn't like, oh God, here we go, pick up the phone. It's like, all right, I get to do this. And now I don't cold call every day anymore, because, you know, running the company, but I look around, I can see the faces, the guys and gals on my team. They show up, they don't get an appointment that day, and it goes 2 days. By the third day, they're deflated. Everybody around them showing up +1, +1. And they're like, man, I'm not doing it right. I always say, okay, number one is the activity there. Did you hit your activity metrics? Okay, there, got that out of the way. Number two, if you connected with X amount of people, you didn't get something, let's go by that. Like, how are your calls? Well, talking to the wrong people all day. I said, yep, common excuse, right? Wrong people. If they don't say yes, they're the wrong people. Deflecting, right? And so I just go down a list, and I'm like, you can diagnose it. And the best doctor is going to say your knee hurts, and they're going to eventually find out it's your hip pain that's causing it. The worst doctor is going to say, oh, your knee hurts, here's some painkillers, right? That's called solving pain. And I teach our people, solve a fucking problem. Pain is a Band-Aid. You solve a pain. We've got so many Band-Aid solutions out there right now. We got solutions for solutions.
It's pretty much a bubble wrap society is what it is.
Yes.
Yeah, like make my life as easy as fucking possible so I can get out of bed, take a piss and go back and make some money. Sorry, you got to get up and do the shit. Like, and there is so much tools. I looked at our tech stack because we use a pretty, thick tech stack. We got 12 different things. And I cut it down to 7. I said, it isn't about how much tech stack you guys have. You don't even fucking use it. We're spending 20 grand a month out of our 50 on shit you touch once a week. Right. And they all had LinkedIn Sales Navigator, awesome tool. Right. And they're like, they wouldn't adopt it. I pulled it. I just canceled it. I said, train and pass the certification. Show me you can do it. Then I'll give you it back. Right. Because if you don't use it, then it's just a crutch. Pick up the damn phone.
And it's like $900 a year or something crazy for Navigator. It's expensive.
It's a lot. Yeah. I mean, the ROI is there.
It is definitely there. Yeah, I agree.
Perfect example. How many people actually use these to their fullest? There's more power in here, just like Gary Vee said, there's more power in here than Ronald Reagan had to run the country.
That's right.
It's funny because when we were talking about lead generation, or when I was thinking through the conversation this morning, I started thinking, the tech stack, it's really cool, and that shiny new Navigator, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And then you realize it's like buying a new phone. It's a love-hate relationship. Like, you're like, oh my God, I got the new iPhone 19 or whatever the hell they're at now. And oh my God, and it's the Pro Max. And now all of a sudden you got to spend 7 hours transferring all your apps and your data and getting to know it. It's like, this is a learning curve. When I switched from PC to Apple, I was like, perfect. I'm a big video guy, and Final Cut Pro and the lightness of the program and and I was like, graphics, and I'm like, everyone's like, Mac's the way to go. Mac's the way to go. I really don't notice a huge difference, but I like my Macs now because I'm used to it. But
that's branding, though.
It's branding. That's branding. 100%.
It is a
branding,
screen.
yes.
It is a screen, and it is. If I know Apple, I love Apple. Why? Because it's what I know, right? And I feel comfortable with it. Well, and you go back to Steve Jobs. That guy was insanely intelligent, insane in general, and just obsessed with design and experience. The first Apple Commodores were like a spaceship. Good luck making it work.
Yeah.
And he brought this quirky little thing. And if you've seen the movie, read the books, whatever, the product iterations of the people he fucked over in the process, including his daughter. Right. So shame on him. But he has given us something that has changed everybody's life forever. I can go here. And this morning I was talking to one of our reps and I said, I'm getting fucking old because I wake up on Saturday and I'm sore from sitting down all week. I said, that's when you know you're old.
Come on, are you serious? Then I should wake up and get in a back brace and crutches. Give me a break.
I mean, my hips are sore and I'm going to Pilates and all kinds of wacky fairy dust shit and
yoga.
I mean, I
think at our age it's yoga. I think we need to do yoga.
No, I'm doing Pilates with the
break,
machine.
Man. Pilates, okay.
Yeah, like I'm trying.
Throw Ryan's comment. He is so right. And
Ryan just said, one of my fave guests so far. Appreciate the realness. Sales isn't glamorous, but it's the best thing that happened to me and my family. And you're absolutely right, brother. Amen. Right on.
And Steve, to kind of Ryan's point, yeah, I love how real you are, and thank you for being a guest on here. And authenticity, you brought it up. I had a quote: "Be so completely yourself that everyone else feels safe to be themselves too." And I think sales is that really. In the end, you said about friends, business friends. Dan will say it. I mean, my best customers throughout all of my career they're like my closest friends now. And they became customers. They started as customers, but we're friends because in the end, that's all it is. It's a transfer of relationship to a friend. I mean,
so many of the Inception students are really good friends.
Yeah.
Like it's Ryan being one of them.
Ryan, exactly.
Ron, we have these groups together, and it's like there's no hierarchies. Like everyone's level, the playing field is level. If you're a good person, you're a good person. DJ and I were giving our 3 points before, and one was customer profile. Know the type of person you want to go after, know the type of person you want as a customer, because when you sell, I believe, especially in our industry, you sell long term. Like this isn't just hey, if you sell this, you're going to sell these earphones and then the person goes on their way and never buys from you again. These are long-term customers that you deal with, you spend more time with than you do with your family for the most part in business. And why not have ones that you really like? Number two is identify what you do really well and lead with that. Like, you talk about authenticity. It's just another way to say authenticity. I got trucks everywhere. No, you don't, you fucking liar. You don't have trucks everywhere. You get out of here. You probably don't even have one truck. If I were to tell you, you have a truck in Cleveland right now that's empty. You have a truck in Cleveland right now that's empty and can be at my place by 10:30. Yeah, I do. Yeah. And then you hang up and you just better hope load boards start updating and all this other crap. You don't have it. Come on. And and that to me is the number one turnoff. It's interesting what you had said, Steve, earlier about, people jumping from company to company. We had a customer on last week, John Brewer. I don't know if you know John Brewer, if you guys have connected on LinkedIn. Amazing man. Runs the logistics,
did you hear his
North
songs,
American.
by the way? No, since you're bringing him up, did you see his 2 songs? He has a Christmas.
Oh yeah. He sent them to me. He sent them to me before they actually aired. They're awesome.
I love it.
So, but John's big thing was your LinkedIn profile is actually your resume to him.
Yep.
And he looks at it and he says, if I see too many jumps, I'm not interested. He goes, you might have the best solution on the planet. He goes, but I can't, because it takes too much energy and time to move with you. And he said, and not to mention, and here was a really, really interesting stat that he shared with us. 60% of his time is chewed up with issues that were not issues 24 months ago. 60% of his time. He goes, so you think about it. I've got my 100% of my time job to do. There's another 60% that's just been added on. So you have something you can offer me, get to it. Let's talk about it. If it's something I need, great. Don't give me the, but, like what was it? The ShamWow guy. Yeah. You get this, and hold on, just wait. There's more, and hold on. There's more. He goes, just tell me what it is. Like, let's be real. I've been 28 years in logistics. Wow. And I can tell you hands down, I was really good at certain things and I sucked at others. And that's why I brought experts in around me. In our international division, I went to the people that I thought were the experts in that division. And they said, well, you got to deal with this person. I said, I will not. I will deal with you. And that's it. And you bring experts in around you. It's one of the things that we do now inside Inception and inside our community is people will come and say, okay, who do you use for rail? And I say, Chanel Logistics, Christy Chanel and her team, the best. Who do you use for expedite? Candor Logistics, the best people on the planet for expedite. Like we have people we connect with that are experts in their fields, and we use them to help us look good. But more importantly, we use them to help our customers achieve that goal. The mission. Why are they using you? There's a purpose. And I love that you said that, there's a reason, there's a purpose behind. And in sales, it's, what is the purpose of these headphones? It's not because they're AirPods. What is the purpose? Like when you sell, you don't sell this, you sell what they do. A friend of mine who I buy all my vehicles from, Courtney Taylor. Courtney, if you're watching, amen, brother. Courtney says, I don't sell cars. He goes, Dan, do you know how many people sell 4 wheels? He goes, I don't sell that. He goes, I sell the feeling you get when you hit lock on your car and your car goes beep, beep, and you turn around and you go, yeah. He goes, that's what I sell. And I'm like, wow. He goes, yeah. He goes, somebody will come in. His first question is, okay, what is the purpose of this? Like, don't tell me to get to and from work. Because if that's what it is, get the bottom of the line, the one with still roll down windows.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to get to and from work. And somebody be like, well, I don't want roll down windows. Well, then you don't just want to get to and from work. Like, let's get to the meat and potatoes of what we want here. What is it that you're selling? And
what experience do you want? Yeah.
Exactly. I mean,
how does it make you feel? I love that.
Yeah. How does it make you feel? Because here's the thing. Here's a revelation that I came across. Sales is a transfer of feelings. And that to me is in a nutshell, the nucleus. Sales is a transfer of feeling. When I sell my service to someone, I want the feeling, like when I was in logistics, when I was selling logistics, I wanted them to get the feeling of what it would be like to put their feet up on the desk, grab a warm cup of coffee, and know everything's taken care of. Now, do I expect them to do that? No, because they got other shit to do. But that is the feeling I wanted. And when my customers would give me business, or when I would go in and I'd sit down and I'd pull out a timeline of an annual timeline, this is your goal, this is how we're going to get there. Trust that I got your back. And then I'd start sending them invites for our weekly or monthly update meetings.
Yeah.
And you saw that ease.
Yeah.
And the stress level just disappeared. And they're like, okay, cool. And it's like, as you're presenting, it was like you watch their stress levels just disintegrate.
And that's the goal.
But and again, because they know you got their back. Like, you come into a company and you say, I'm going to do this, this, and this for you. And they're like, okay, I've heard this shit a million times.
I want to see it.
What are you? I want to see it. What are you going to do that's different?
Faster delivery times, more reliability.
Yeah. I'll get your reports
Those are all
at 9
keywords.
o'clock.
Those are all
instead of
good
9:30.
words.
Single dashboard to view all your freight logistics. Yeah, it's now. Did you guys? It's interesting. How this company launched was on accident. So logistics. I don't know if you all know this, but so I was hired as a consultant, and I walked into these two guys in New York. It was May of 2020 when shit hit the fan with COVID.
Yeah.
And they said, we hear you can build a pretty lean top of funnel. And I said, yeah, I think so. And I wanted a job, right? Because I was a consultant for the first time. So I was trying to hold my cards. And they said, well, we wanted to sell PPE, and I didn't really understand what it was. We sold $168 million worth of PPE over the next 6 months. And I was on the phone with prostitutes in Malaysia on WhatsApp at night, trying to negotiate glove deals. Nitro gloves getting shipped from Malaysia. All of a sudden, there's containers have gone missing. There's gloves that were recycled with blood all over them. It was a freaking disaster. And we'd have cameras sitting by the port and just see all the ships out there waiting to get in because there was so much traffic jam. And we'd have a client that wired us $8.2 million because they were running out of gloves. And we could see the boat with the gloves on it for 13 days. And they're sitting there going, can we just take a boat, go get some? And I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that. But I remember thinking I have a whole new appreciation for this shit, because what we started doing was there was third-party software where we could see that we call them pirates, right? There was a big Jewish community in New York who really understood logistics, and they owned that shit, right? They were running the market. They were running the market 100%. It was Malaysia, a lot of corporate investments from America. And smart Jewish people who were really good at logistics. And we started tracking the stuff that was coming over that wasn't sold yet. And we'd buy it mid-boat, right? And they would be auctioning off the price while it was here. We could see it coming. As soon as they hit a certain point, we buy it now. Boom, right? It's about 2 days out of port, buy it, get the price that's good enough for the customer, good enough for us. And I have a whole new appreciation for what you all do in logistics, because it was chaotic at best.
Yeah. It is. And you that was a time of pivoting. Everyone was pivoting. I mean, I had a customer that sold bed sheets, and overnight he's like, I'm in PPE. I'm like, okay, what? He goes, I'm in PPE. I'm selling gowns and masks and gloves. And I'm like, okay. He goes, I just told my sales force, here's your sales sheets, go. And I'm like, okay. I said, and he's like, and that was it. It was just from bed sheets, like 1999 bed sheets at Canadian Tire and Walmart and CVS, to like full on medical supply. And I'm like, all right, man.
Diapers and tampons too are made out of the same thing masks are. So factories take all their production of diapers and masks like overnight. And everybody pivoted. I felt like I couldn't even go to anywhere without someone saying, I sell PPE. And I was just like, yep, everybody does. And that's when somebody said, hey, it must have been really easy for you guys to sell 168 million. Everybody was buying PPE. And I said, yes, everybody was also selling it. And 98% of the people were crooks who didn't have it, who just wanted to get you down deposit and say, I have money.
Yeah.
Where can I find this? And I saw it all the time. Someone would say, I've got an order for 4 million. I don't have any inventory. Can someone help me? And I'm like, that's where we come to. You're taking money without having product and then hoping you can get it. And they hold the money and say, it's not here yet. It's not here yet. They didn't place the order from Malaysia. And they're lying to a customer saying it ain't here yet. So then they'd be putting an order in 3 orders. Yeah. Whatever one came first, they'd cancel the other ones. And It was insane, man. And this seems so easy compared to that, because they would go over to a factory. You'd have to hold up a sign and say, hey, Dan, I'm standing next to your gloves. You have to take them out and look at them and blow it up and make sure. It was crazy. Like I was like, I didn't think I'd ever sit and watch people blow up nitro gloves in a factory at 2 a.m.
I
in
feel like
Malaysia.
you're watching Howie Mandel all over again.
Yeah. I mean, it's wild.
Ryan says he had to pivot as well. Ryan used to do a lot for Cirque du Soleil, and he had to go to roofing and packaging. He learned a lot, right? Obviously, the Cirque du Soleil would be great. I've helped move the King Tut exhibit and stuff like there's been some pretty cool things watching. I used to deal with Bell Helicopter Textron and watching them load helicopters on the Antonov plane, and there's some pretty cool things you get to see in logistics, right? And it's pretty cool. So we are. I think that was a great conversation. We're going way past our time.
Yeah, we're a little over time.
I kind of don't want to end the show.
I don't either,
but Steve, I think if you can,
we definitely gotta have
you back on.
Steve, will you come back on?
Yeah, let's do it. I love it. You guys have so much energy. It's amazing.
Thank you. All right, so DJ, lead us out of here. Ryan says, bring him back.
What's up, Ryan?
Yes, right. Absolutely, Ryan. And Steve, shout out to Steve. You got to check out his LinkedIn. He released a newsletter telling his story, and I love that first one you shared. I'm waiting for the next. So
wait till the next one. I gotta protect people's identity too, because I was like, when I showed up, and that the guy whose name was Bill, he was an amazing Chinese man in Las Vegas, and I sat down at that table with him, and he just shows me his phone, and he says, "Pot cookie." He goes, and I don't want to try and I couldn't understand him, but I was like, what's going on? And I was like, oh shit. And then this guy's in the ER because his competition delivered pot cookies to his hotel room because they wanted to mess him up because he was releasing his new product. I'm like, this is insane. Yeah. Like, this guy's from Xiamen City, China, flew to Las Vegas. He just hired me. I couldn't understand him. And he's still stoned from the night before, but I'm like, okay, great, let's go. That's Las Vegas, I guess. So I'll be back. Thank you guys for having me. It was awesome.
No, thank you, Steve.
Pleasure having you here. DJ, what's your quote for today? Or did you already use it?
I got a good one. It's by Michael Jordan. Okay. But before I share it, again, if you're watching this later on after us live, we do have it on YouTube, LinkedIn, everywhere else. Check out our channels. You can like and subscribe if you want to see when we're live again. So this is Michael Jordan, and authenticity is about being true to who you are, even when everyone around you wants you to be someone else. True, guys.
Welcome to the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly.